You ever have one of those days where you're just trying to enjoy a quiet moment, and someone storms in like they own the place, ready to ruin everything? That's exactly what happened to me and my wife, Ellie. One sunny afternoon by our little slice of heaven, a lakeside cabin we'd poured our hearts into. But let me tell you, what started as a petty HOA showdown turned into a battle that'd make your jaw drop, and by the end, you'll be wondering how far someone would go just to flex their power. So, picture this. It's a perfect summer day at Willow Lake, the kind where the water sparkles like it's got diamonds in it, kids are giggling, and the smell of burgers on the grill is mixing with pine in the air. Ellie and I had just moved here 6 months ago, after she'd kicked cancer's butt, 8 grueling months of chemo, doctor's visits, and holding each other through nights that felt like they'd never end. This cabin, with its 2 acres and 200 feet of private lakefront, was our sanctuary, a place for Ellie to heal, to laugh again, to feel alive. We'd bought it fair and square from the old Peterson family, who'd owned it for decades. That day, we'd invited a few of Ellie's friends and their kids for a picnic, nothing big, just some sandwiches, lemonade, and the promise of a carefree afternoon. Ellie was glowing, her first real smile in months, and I swear, I could have watched her forever, tossing a frisbee with the kids, her sundress catching the breeze. Then, out of nowhere, this woman, let's call her Vivian Caldwell, comes charging across our lawn like she's leading a one-woman SWAT team. She's in her 50s, blonde hair so perfect it probably cost more than my car, decked out in a crisp tennis skirt and pearls, like she just stepped off a yacht club brochure. "You have no right to be here," she shrieks, her voice cutting through the calm like a chainsaw. She's got her phone out, filming us, zooming in on the kids splashing in the water, and she's yelling about how this lake is community property and private parties are strictly prohibited by the Willow Lake HOA. I'm standing there, burger in hand, thinking, lady, what? Our friends freeze, the kids look confused, and Ellie, God, my heart sank seeing her smile fade, her hands starting to shake. This was supposed to be her day, her moment to feel normal again, and now this Vivian woman's acting like we're criminals for existing on our own land. I try to keep cool, leaning on my years as a landscape designer dealing with picky clients. "Ma'am," I say real polite, "this is our private property, bought and paid for. There's got to be some mix-up." But Vivian's not hearing it. Her eyes are blazing, and she's got that smug look of someone who's used to people caving when she raises her voice. "The HOA manages all lakefront access," she snaps, still filming, "and I'm calling the sheriff right now." Our friends start exchanging those awkward glances, like they're wondering if they should grab their kids and bolt. I glance at Ellie, and she's just staring at Vivian, her blue eyes sharp as ever, but I can see her trembling not from fear, but from that quiet fury that comes when someone messes with your family. Then Ellie does something I didn't see coming. She stands up, brushes grass off her dress, real slow, like she's gathering every ounce of strength she's fought for. "Ma'am," she says, her voice soft but clear as a bell, "do you realize this is my land?" The words hit Vivian like a slap. Her face goes from red to ghost white in 2 seconds flat, her phone dipping as she fumbles it. "That's impossible," she stammers, but you can hear the crack in her confidence, like she's just realized she might have picked the wrong fight. For a second, I see a flicker of panic in her eyes, and I'm thinking, oh, lady, you have no idea what's coming. Let me back up a bit, 'cause you need the full picture to understand how wild this got. I'm Mike, by the way, and Ellie and I moved to this cabin after the toughest year of our lives. After her cancer treatment, we needed a fresh start, somewhere peaceful where we could rebuild. The cabin was perfect, 2 acres, a little dock, and that 200 feet of lakefront that felt like our own private paradise. We'd planned this picnic as Ellie's big comeback, her first real day of feeling like herself again. But Vivian Caldwell wasn't just some nosy neighbor. A quick Google search that night, while I'm stress-eating leftover sandwiches, shows she's got connections, big ones. Turns out, she's the ex-wife of Judge Thomas Caldwell, a guy who's been calling shots in our county for years. Even divorced, that kind of clout means she can make life hell for newcomers like us. By the next morning, things go from bad to worse. Vivian's posted a video on the Willow Lake Community Facebook group, a group she created, by the way, showing our picnic like it's some kind of crime scene. She's edited out Ellie's part about owning the land, zooming in on our friends' awkward faces and the kids asking why they can't swim. The comments are brutal, entitled "Newcomers Stealing Our Lake." Who do these people think they are? Within hours, it's got hundreds of likes, and neighbors we've never met are piling on. Ellie's friend, Tara, calls us at 7 a.m., mortified, saying, "Mike, you gotta see this. She's turning the whole town against you." I'm fuming, but Ellie's calm, pointing out something I missed. "Look at the group, Mike. It's only a month old, and Vivian's the admin. She's not just stirring dramash, orchestrating it." That's when we realize this isn't just about a picnic. Vivian's playing a bigger game, and we're about to find out how deep it goes. 3 days later, she ups the ante with an emergency community meeting at the town hall, complete with flyers handed out like she's running for governor. We show up, and it's packed neighbors, strangers, all nodding along as Vivian stands at a podium, flipping through PowerPoint slides about protecting community values and how outsiders, like us, are threatening the lake. She's got this smug look, calling us greedy investors, while pointing right at us. I'm about to lose it when the door bangs open, and in walks Ellie's dad, Jack, a retired Marine who doesn't take crap from anyone. At 68, he's still got that "don't mess with me" vibe, leaning on his cane, his old service cap tilted just right. "Ma'am," Jack says, his voice booming like he's addressing troops, "you better have legal proof before you accuse my family of anything." The room goes dead quiet. Vivian fumbles her remote, clicking to some blurry survey she claims proves the lake's community property. Jack's not having it. "I'd like to see that surveyor's credentials," he says, "because my daughter's got a deed from Peterson's firm, signed 6 months ago, showing we own that lakefront clear as day." The crowd starts whispering, and Vivian's starting to sweat. I jump in, using my landscape designer cred. "Miss Caldwell, can you share the contact info for that surveyor? I'd love to check their license with the state." Her face twitchish, knows she's cornered. Then Ellie stands up, and man, it's like the air shifts. "6 months ago, I finished chemo," she says, her voice steady but heavy with meaning. "This lake is where I'm learning to feel strong again. Why would you try to take that from us with unverified claims?" You could hear a pin drop. Neighbors who'd been glaring at us start looking ashamed. One lady, Mrs. Larson, our sweet old neighbor, walks over and hugs Ellie, whispering apologies. Vivian's losing her grip, fast. But she doesn't back down. The next morning, I wake up to orange barriers around our lakefront, plastered with signs screaming, "Contaminated area. Environmental hazard." I'm staring out the kitchen window, coffee mug slipping from my hand, thinking, she didn't. Ellie's next to me, her face pale, but her eyes burning. She's trying to scare everyone into thinking our land's toxic, she whispers. "These signs look legit professional, official, but something's off." I call an environmental lawyer, Rachel Hayes, who Mrs. Larson recommended. Rachel shows up with a surveyor and a drone that looks like it's from a sci-fi movie. "These signs cite EPA codes that don't exist," she says, peering through a magnifying glass. "And the company listed? Not registered anywhere." The drone survey drops a bombshell. We own 250 feet of lakefront, not 200. The Petersons never used their full rights, but it's ours, legally. Vivian's claims are falling apart, but she's not done. Rachel uncovers that she's filed complaints with the county, claiming our construction threatens the lake. Construction? We fixed a dock board and planted daisies. Rachel's like, she's betting you won't fight back. It's a classic scare tactic. Then the sheriff's car rolls up, lights flashing. Deputy Harris steps out, looking uneasy, holding a complaint about trespassing on community land. I'm about to explode, but Sheriff Daniels Yep, the guy I helped with a pro bono deck design years ago, pulls up and shuts it down. "Harris," he barks, "these documents are fake. The Willow Lake HOA dissolved 5 years ago." He flips through Vivian's folder, his face darkening. She's been forging signatures, citing fake regulations, and harassing 12 other families to force them to sell cheap for a water park deal with Lake Vibe Corporation. My jaw hits the floor. This wasn't about community pride, it was a land grab. Vivian was set to pocket 15% of the profits from turning our lake into a commercial circus. Ellie's shaking, but not from fierce pissed. And then, Judge Thomas Caldwell himself shows up, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. "Vivian," he says, voice like thunder, "you've been using my name to bully people." I'm done. He's publicly cutting ties, and Vivian's face collapses like a bad poker hand. Ellie steps forward, holding up her phone. I've recorded everything, she says, cool as ice. Every threat, every lie, every bribe you tried to pull. She plays a clip of Vivian hissing, I'll make sure you're never welcome here. The crowd gasps, and Sheriff Daniels steps in with handcuffs. Vivian Caldwell, you're under arrest for fraud, forgery, and extortion. Her pristine tennis outfit looks ridiculous now as she's led to the patrol car, her fake legal team scattering like roaches. The aftermath? Lake Vibe's lawyers try to backpedal, but Rachel's already filing a restraining order to block development for 5 years. Ellie takes the lead, announcing the Willow Lake Preservation Committee, with her as chair and Jack as law enforcement liaison. Neighbors rally around us, bringing food for an impromptu lakefront potluck, kids splashing again, the sunset painting the water gold. A local vlogger, Nate, who'd been filming everything, posts a video that goes viral, 2 million views, exposing Vivian's scheme and inspiring other communities to fight back. As Ellie and I sit on our dock that night, holding hands, I look at her and say, you went from fighting cancer to taking down a con artist. How do you do it? She smiles, watching ducks glide across the lake. Sometimes, the best way to win isn't revenge, it's building something stronger than they could ever break. So what do you think? Should companies like Lake Vibe face charges for funding schemes like this? Or is it just on people like Vivian? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your stories of standing up to bullies or fighting for what's yours. Like and subscribe for more real stories of regular folks taking on the powerful and winning. This is our lake, our home, and we're just getting started.